Hello, everybody. Hello, Ingrid. How you doing?
Hola, Carlos.
How
How
you
you
doing?
doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Well, where are you now?
I'm from my house. I'm with the background of New York, but I'm in Atlanta, Georgia right now. What about you? Where are you at right now?
Right now in Mississippi. I'm very, very, very happy to be connected today and just be part of this live
I know, me
new
too. We've been
event that
looking
we're
for it,
trying to.
right?
Yes, 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 yes. And today we're just dealing with, sometimes when I think the vibrational frequency is too high,
Yeah.
the instruments and the electronics and everything tend not to work. So it was like this battle today to
Technical
try to
problems
connect.
always happen, at the beginning, all the time.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. Any kind of interview, we always have something like that, so it's okay.
Oh, but this is so good. So good to be here with everyone here today. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, this is
There's people
just
from all over,
amazing.
from Florida, Arizona, New York City. Wow. Everywhere. Alberta. Wow. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Let me wow, let's see who we have here. Oh wow, let's show some of our wow,
Hola.
look at we
Hello.
have people from everywhere. This is so good, so good.
Good from Colombia. Lisbeth Garcia. There you go. We have Solace Energy and Wellness from Alberta. Kathy
Mira,
Ellis.
the New York City. I
I
come
know,
to
I
see
know, I
that.
know. New York City. A background.
Hello from Florida. Oh, this is so good. I love
Yeah.
to see this, and this way we also give a little bit of time for more people to
To
join.
join, yes.
We
Look,
have here
Jack
Kathy
Adams from
from
Merida,
California.
Mexico. Kathy Ellis from California. Yeah,
We have from Arizona,
yeah,
Maryland. Oh, this is oh yeah,
yeah.
and good in Mexico here. Oh, this is so
Mhm.
good, so good. Wow, Carlos, this is
Everywhere.
so incredible to have everyone here.
Yeah,
Again, welcome everybody. And I'm so happy using also this software. Like, it's like, let's play with all this and have
yeah.
fun.
Get your coffee ready. I get my coffee ready. Cheers.
Bueno, Carlos, cuéntame por qué estamos aquí.
En español. Chévere.
Mira, this is amazing because in the future, the idea is that we're going to do it in Spanish too. It's just, I am seeing so many people also that are in so many countries, the Hispanic community, and we're going to do this in Spanish too in the future. But tell
Yes.
us now why you're here today, why we are here today.
Well, one of the reasons that I'm here today is because I want to share with the world my experience. I want everybody to hear Ingrid's experience too. When I started my spiritual awakening, it was hard for me because I didn't know where to go. I have an accident in 2015, and through the accident, I have a near-death experience, like you have too. But then I was so afraid to tell this to anyone. Like who I'm gonna tell this? Like who's gonna believe me that this happened? Who's gonna believe me that I went to heaven, I spoke with God, and come back? Like it was hard for me. I went to churches looking for answers. Nobody wants to respond my questions. So at the end, I was tired, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna go to Google, and I'm gonna Google people if somebody from any part of the world this happened, the same experience that I have. And I didn't realize it was millions of people around the world. Just here in the US, one between every 10 persons have a near death experience. I was telling
Yes.
Ingrid that I went to a party like 2 months ago, and it was a bunch of people there. And I said, watch, who in this ballroom has a near death experience? And 5 people raised their hands. I said, you see? So yeah. And what about you, Ingrid? Tell us where are you here for?
I think the idea with all this and we're what we're doing together, Carlos, is same thing that is in my heart as you. Like, how can we share these experiences with the world, but not because it's our
Oh, no,
experience,
no,
but
no, no, no.
because through our understandings, through,
No.
I always say it's not the experience, but what is behind the
Yeah.
experience. And if we can bring people to go deeper and understand why this happened to them,
Hmm.
why, and all those questions that we have inside, just by even sharing this space together, Carlos, you have so many insights, I have so many insights.
Yeah.
And when we start sharing all those aha moments and all those times where we got it, it's like we can help other people to get it too, as other people helped us too. For me to integrate my experience took many, many, many years, as it happened for many people that have had near-death experiences, Carlos. They said that for children, it takes about, I think it's 20 to 35 years to
Wow.
integrate a near-death experience, and for adults, about 15 to 20 years.
Wow.
So it's only when we hear the stories of others. I remember me thinking, "Oh, yeah, that happened to me. Oh, that happened to me. Yes, that too. Oh, what?" And little by little, I put it together.
Yeah,
So
and that's what I want people to know, that you, it's not to us, to everybody that is watching right now. Maybe you have a family, a friend, a brother, a sister, your mom, your dad. You know, most of these near death experiences happen when you're in the hospital and they put you under anesthesia, and then people have out of body experience, but nobody wants to talk about because they don't want people to call them crazy, you know. But they are amazing experience, they're beautiful experience, and that's where we're here, so we can share it, right?
yes, and in when these experiences even happen when we are so young, like in my case, I was just a child, and you feel so the sense that you're not being understood by anybody, and not just the person that have the experience, but like you're saying, Carlos, the family. Imagine the parents, imagine the family around when they're like, I don't know how to deal with this child, or I don't know how to deal with this person. On another thing that happened is that after these experiences, sometimes people have a complete change, even in personality, in way of thinking, in way to perceive life. And if the people around don't have any kind of understanding, there's going to be a sense of complete, how you call it, like we don't understand each other, I don't know what you're talking about, or the sense of like the person feel I don't belong, and the family members feel like, who are you?
Mhm.
So the more educated we become, the more we can help each other.
Yeah, like Soleil said, in energy and wellness, yes, Soleil, it's one in every 10 Americans, and I guess in Canada too, have near death experiences. It's really, really amazing. For me, it took me 5 years. I mean, I run, I hide, I cry. I was like, I don't want to tell this to anybody, but something bigger than me was behind me saying, like, you need to tell this story. You need to tell this to the world. And I didn't want to do it, okay? I was like, no, 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 I don't want to say this to nobody. And I mean, little miracles start happening around me, just to see that God is real, you know, and He wants more people to awake, and He wants more people to know that it's a spiritual life, you know, and that's what our stories come. And I would love to hear stories from the people that are watching this with us too in the future, you know. Like, we can invite people and they can tell us their story. You can write us back and say, hey, I have a story, a near the experience, so you can share it with us, you know. What do you think, Ingrid?
Yeah, that would be incredible. I even want to hear, yeah, because sometimes we tend to talk with the people we know that have had the experiences, but sometimes I have even had the opportunity to talk to, uh, even sometimes, Carlos, even in a taxi one day, the
Hmm.
driver, we started to talk in the back about some of these experiences, and the driver said, I have had an experience like that, and he started to share, and he's like, look how, if we could just, and people that want to open, or people that want to share their experience, have had that opportunity. And I love what Sefina wrote here. Yes, even spiritual awakenings, I am still unpacking 15 years later.
Yeah.
It keeps unfolding. So yeah, but now, Carlos, I one thing that we were showing in our past, that we were sharing in this week and these days is you there with a dolphin in the
Yeah.
background. Why we're using this dolphin then? And this is the moment where Carlos is going to come and share a little bit of his story today of what happened, what was all
Okay.
about.
So yes, thank you, Ingrid. And I don't know if everybody that is watching know my story, but it's happened in 2015. I'm gonna tell a little quick. So what happened is I went to Panama City Beach here in Florida with 7 friends, and we went to an island. It's called Shell Island, and it was Memorial Day 2015. We went to the backside of the island because the front of the island, the bayside, was packed with people, and it was too many families and kids running everywhere. And so I said, let's go to the back, to the ocean, the open ocean. So we went to the open ocean and we put a tent right there, a canopy, and put chairs, drinks, food, music, and we stayed there all day until 4 p.m. Around 4 p.m., my friend said, Carlos, we're going to walk around the island. I said, you guys go because I've been coming to this island for like 10 years. So what I told them, you need to come back in 45 minutes to an hour because at 5:30, the last boat is going to leave the island till tomorrow. I said, okay, we'll be back. So they left. I was by myself. It was getting really hot. And I said, I'm just going to jump and swim a little bit because I'm very hot, And then I jump. I'm not afraid to swim because when I was a kid, I used to be on a swimming team. And I was swimming, everything was good. And out of the blue, something started pulling me under the water. I didn't know what it was. And I started pulling back, pulling back, pulling back until this thing sucked me all the way in. And it was a whirlpool under the water. If people have seen the movie Finding Nemo, there is a whirlpool that take all the fishes far away into the middle of the ocean. That's called Australian current. And the same thing took me. So that vacuum sucked me and threw me far, far away from the island. So when I get out of the water, I look at the island. The island was like this. I was like, what? How am I here? Like, okay, I don't want to panic. I just need to swim back. So I start swimming back. And it doesn't matter how much I try. I was getting farther and farther and farther and farther. After almost 30 minutes, I started getting cramps on my arms, on my legs. And I was super tired. And I said, you know what? I guess this is it for me. And in that moment, I said, okay, God, you got me. I never thought that today is going to be my last day, but if you want to take me now, I'm ready. I just want to say some words to you. Thank you. I want to say thank you for my mom. Thank you for my dad. Thank you for my brothers. Thank you for my sisters. Thank you for everything you get me in this life. And I'm sorry if I did something wrong. As soon as I finished these words, behind me, I heard a voice that coming from the sky that said, ask for help. And I look everywhere. I don't see anyone. I was like, this is my imagination. And then tried to swim again. I heard, ask for help. And I was like, what? And I look everywhere and say, are you here? Please help me. Nothing. And then I heard for the third time, I told you to ask for help. I was like, oh my God, don't you think that it's impossible that nobody's going to listen to me? But okay, I'm going to do it. So I started screaming, help, help, help. At the end of the island, one of my friends came out of the group because he felt something was wrong. He went to the top of a hill and he saw me from there and he said, Carlos, I'm going to call 911. He didn't call 911. He called like 6 guys that were in the other side of the island, boarding the boats, going back to Panama City. These 6 guys started jumping from the rocks, swimming my way. And guess what? 10 minutes later, and I don't know, people ask me, how do you support to be in the water so long? When you're dying, you get supernatural power in your body. I don't know if you heard the story about the old lady that a car went through his grandson and she left the car and she was like 80 years old lady. Is because that power comes inside of you, in those moments of full adrenaline. And guess what? Everybody started turning around. And I said, God, you know what? I don't want to fight anymore. And in that moment behind me, I heard a thunder and I looked back, a big thunderstorm was coming. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to surrender. Do whatever you have to do. Just do it quick. And in that moment, a huge wave came and crushed me under the water. And when I was under the water, I opened my eyes and I see far, far away a black shadow that's coming my way. And I was like, oh my God, a shark. So I covered my eyes, waiting for this shadow to come that I thought was a shark. But this thing came under me, grabbed me by my stomach and pushed me all the way up. And when I get out of the water, was a huge dolphin. That's why we have the dolphin at the beginning of our video. So the dolphin saved me that day. I couldn't believe it. I was crying. I grabbed the dolphin by the fin. And I stayed there for 10 minutes with this dolphin. The dolphin didn't move. It was a moment, a connection with the animals. If you have a dog, if you have a cat, and you see your cat and your dog in their eyes, they have feelings.
Yeah.
They have hearts. They care about you, you know? I guess these dolphins, in that moment of desperation, he saw me and he just wanted to rescue me, you know? And then 10 minutes later, a feature boat showed up in front of me. And the guy is like, come on, I can save you, but I cannot get close to you. He throw me a rope. I go to the boat. And when I get to the boat, I get some air like, because I was super tired. And then he started screaming, come on, you need to get in now. Me, I just say, why? What happened? I said, my body's sinking. I said, how is it sinking? I said, because I have a pump and the pump is stopped. So you need to get in now. All the wave there from the thunderstorm, they're getting inside of my boat and it's getting floated. Hurry up. So I go to the back, I jump in, I see the water like this. And I said, sir, do you have a bucket? No, I don't have a bucket. But now, come on, sit down next to me. I said, yeah, but we need to take the water out. I said, we don't have time for that. Let's get out of here. So we start going around the island. He put a towel over me and he started asking me questions like, okay, what happened to you? I said, well, sir, I just went to swim and this whirlpool under the water pulled me all the way here. I said, okay, where's your family and friends? And everybody's there. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, sir. And then he asked me, where are you from? I said, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. What about you? I said, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, too. And guess what? We live almost in front of each other. Like, he's sitting, yeah. I was from Duluth, he was from North Cross. I was like, this is crazy. And in that moment, he started screaming, oh my God, look behind you, look behind you. And when I look behind me, the dolphin was jumping, following the boat.
Oh.
When we arrived to the bayside, there was almost everybody was left the island. The few people that was in the island was in the other side looking for me. And then the guy said, okay, I'm going to have to leave you right here because I have to fix my boat. But if you want to see me again, every Memorial Day, I'm going to come back here and you will see me and my family here. I said, okay, sir, thank you so much. God bless you. And in that moment, I jump off the boat. I start walking. He left. And when I'm walking to the church, something hit my leg. And when I look back, the dolphin was there. And the dolphin went with me all the way to the shore. And in that moment, when I get to the shore, I was completely broken. I was crying. And I said, you know what? I went on my knees and I said, God, I'm done. If you save me with this dolphin right here, it's because you have a purpose for my life. I don't know what you want from me, but I'm going to tell you something. From today, Carlos died in the ocean. The person who's coming out of the water is going to be you. I want you to take over my life, over my body, and do whatever you want through me. And in that moment, it started thundering, lightning, and started raining. Then the police arrived, my friends arrived, everybody started hugging me, everybody crying. They took me back to the island. We spoke with management. They asked me what happened. I said, like, well, what happened? You don't have a red flag that said the ocean is dangerous. You know, you don't have a sign. There is a riptide. If I see the sign, I wouldn't think it twice before I jumped, you know. And lifesavers, you know, you don't have lifesavers there, but it's okay. Anyways, after that, everybody from the beach and my friends, we went to a church next to the park. And the church was closed, but outside we just hugged everybody, each other, people from the beach and my friends. And we prayed for like 20 minutes. After that, we went back to the hotel. I took a shower, get something to eat, and I went to sleep. And as soon as I put my head on the pillow, I have this epiphany. I didn't know what epiphany was. It's like a vision. So I open my eyes in this vision and I see that I'm on the third floor of a cruise in the Caribbean. I'm grabbing the handrails and looking in front of me. It's a blue sky, blue ocean. Everything is beautiful. But at the end of the ocean, something started rising my way. It was a tsunami. And I was like, oh my God, a tsunami. So I covered my eyes. And then I was just waiting for the impact. And I like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. After 10 minutes, somebody come behind me. It's like, hey, look at me. I was like, I don't want to look. I don't want to look. Look at me. So I looked back. And guess who it was? I couldn't see his face, but I knew in my heart it was Jesus. But it was a big guy with a white robe with light coming from his face. And he said, close your eyes. So I closed my eyes. He hugged me from the back. And then 10 seconds later, he said, open your eyes. I opened my eyes. And when I look in front of me, I'm in heaven. I was like, what? This means that I die? Like, no, no, no. You're Jesus? Like, Jesus, take me back because I need to go back. I didn't say goodbye to my mom, my dad. Like, no,
I'm
no,
not
no, no.
ready to die.
I know I'm not ready to die, you know. I said, you're not dead right now. You're in the middle. But you did a promise to me. And yes, I did a promise. So be careful when you make a promise because you have to fulfill that promise. And he said the same to me. So I just go a little bit back. When I was 14 years old, I was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And I, one day by myself at home, after the doctor said there is nothing else to do with me, and my mom, my dad were crying, I went into the living room. There was nobody at home. And I prayed to God, I said, God, let's do a deal right here. If you're real, save me from this cancer. And I promise you, I'm going to tell the whole world that you are real, because there's a lot of people that don't believe in you. And I'm going to make sure that people is going to know about you. And guess what? 3 months later, the cancer disappeared. And until
Yeah.
today, nothing. It didn't come back again. And now let me finish. So what happened after that? Jesus said, okay, Carlos,
Mm-hmm.
and this is almost the end of my story. He said, before you go back, I want you to give this message to the world. I said, what message? I said, more than 90% of the people around the world have childhood trauma and they need to forgive. I said, who they need to forgive? I said, well, number one, their parents. It doesn't matter if they didn't like you, they abused you, they hit you. It doesn't matter, because they didn't have a manual to raise you. You need to forgive your inner child, because whatever happened to your inner child is not his fault. You know, he was afraid, he was scared, and it's time to grab that little child and say, you're protected with me. And number three, you need to forgive all the people that came to your life and harm you. When you forgive your inner child, your parents, and the people that came to your life to harm you, you're not forgiving them, you're forgiving yourself. In that moment, you open your heart and you throw away all the hate, all the resentment, and all the poisons that be eating you for years. And in that moment, it's like you have a balloon with a string and you cut the balloon and let the balloon go. And from that moment, you're free. And when you're free, is when Jesus told me, in that moment is when you start living your purpose. I said, your purpose, what's the purpose? The purpose of life. I said, well, I give to every one of you a gift. I give the gift of singing, gift of cooking, gift of dancing, gift of sports, any gift, you know. What is your gift? The only thing that you do better than anybody else. Nobody else do that gift that you have than only you, you know. If you don't want to do that, the second gift is called service. Why service? Because when you die, you're going to take your car, your house, your titles, your money, your Bitcoin. You're going to take anything. The only thing that you're going to take is how many people you love, how many people you take care of it, how many people you give shelter, food. And look, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Princess Diana, Martin Luther King, what they did was service, and their service continues until today. Now I ask you, asking everybody that is watching right now, what are you doing today to leave a blueprint that's gonna mark what you came here to earth to do for others? So one day when you go into heaven and they ask you, it was worth it for you to go to earth, say like, yes, let me show you. Or how many people I helped there, and how proud I feel for the things that I did for others, you know. And that's my story. That's just the beginning of my story, but I'm gonna leave it to right there. But thank you, Ingrid. Now I wanna, what do you think about this? And I wanna hear your story too.
No, Carlos, there's so many things to unpack just with your story. Is
Yeah.
so beautiful because is and again when you say that you say to God, I'm your vehicle
Yeah.
and I am your instrument, I
Hmm.
am at your service. It's like it even makes me think more in what we're doing today here
Hmm.
sharing, because even Carlos and I, we have to tell you that both of us, many times we were asked to do a podcast, to do a show, to do this. Yeah, we go and share, but we always like, no, we're not doing this, or we're just, and the decision came to let's do this, Carlos, because this is
Yes.
the way in which maybe we can share all the deeper truths that have been knocking our door. So this
Mhm.
is absolutely beautiful. And you know, when talking about dolphins, I want to share something with you. Like when I was working as a marine biologist and as a scientist, I work in a it was an aquarium and a sanctuary, a marine sanctuary, and I work with dolphins. I have a little picture here.
There you go. Look, the
Yes,
dolphin is happy there. Look at him. Look at
yes.
you.
So I used to work with the dolphins, and let me tell you, like you were saying about the dogs, about the cats, about the
Yeah.
animals, they have that sensitivity and that connection with us, but it doesn't happen like that with everybody. I have to tell you this, because same as the dogs, if the dog or the cat, they feel that your vibrational frequency, your energy is that of like there's no connection to say with that animal, they're going to reject you, or they're going to bark at you, or they're going to run away, whatever it is. Same thing with the dolphins. When I work with them, not everybody could be with them in the water.
I have
There
a
was
video. Did I send the video today? No.
no.
Oh, so I forgot to send you the video. But in the video, there is a lady that she's going to a swimming pool with a dolphin, and the whole family is going, and everybody's fine. But when she entered into the water, the dolphin said no, and then
Yeah.
but she didn't know why. And then she go back again, and the instructor, come on, just go with her. And the dolphin, and he got back.
Mhm.
Guess what it was? She was
Well,
pregnant. She was no, she was in lactancy, and the milk. The dolphin said no because he didn't want to mess with that.
oh yeah,
It
yeah.
was to protect.
They
Yeah.
have this incredible sensitivity, and when people don't listen,
Mhm.
they get pretty. They can even harm the person, but
Yeah.
because they said the person no, no, or they push the water with the tail,
Yeah. That's
and
what
if
they
you
did.
don't listen, they come and beat you pretty much. Like they hit you first, not too hard, and if you don't listen, they hit you hard. So it's pretty much that they're not
The
the
way.
route that first they tell you don't come in the water. So that brings me to go deeper in what happened to you.
Hmm.
Is that connection with that dolphin, like you say, the moment that they're feeling your distress, they're feeling that. I think in a moment like that, you're in complete state of surrender when you
Yes,
said,
100%.
God, I mean, take me, I'm done. And then that help came. And this is the other thing I put in, I like to share when the in my connection with the being so light is I got this teaching when they said to me, Ingrid, even the person that when the people say I don't believe in anything, even the more atheist or the person that said I don't know anything, don't believe in anything, the moment that I have heard from many near their experiences, from many cases that they said the moment they were about to die, or the moment they were in a situation that was crucial, really hard, there's this inner that says, God help me. If there's a
Yep.
God, help me. If there's any force, or if they don't call it God, if there's any divine force, anything related with what we know as God, help me. And at that moment is when the change happens. And then there's this beautiful thing that the Beings of Light shared with me, and they said, look, when you see a flower, you think about God because it's a manifestation of the divine. And when you are asking for help, or when you're a big challenge, you ask for God. So God
Mhm.
is always, always present, always there.
Always, always. And that's
Yes.
what you said right there. I have a friend, Kevin Hines. I don't know if anybody knows the story, but he's trying to commit suicide. He's trying to jump from the Golden Bridge in San Francisco. And the moment that he left the rails and he started floating in the air, going down, like that's from like a high-rise building. That thing is huge. And just I don't think too many people survived that jump. As soon as he was in the air, he said, like, God, I make a mistake, please save me. And when he hit the water, almost all his bone was broke. Just one arm and his head was okay. And guess what? A sea lion came and was under him until rescue came. You see, me was the dolphin, he was the sea lion, and I met him on a reunion with the friends. He was invited. I didn't know he was there. He didn't know I was there. We each other know our stories, but we didn't meet in person. And then everybody, you're the guy from the dolphin, and you're the guy from the sea lion. I was like, what? In the same party, I'm like, what? It was amazing. But yes, like you said.
And sometimes many people, sometimes it happens that we think
Mhm.
so little about nature. We forget that we are nature and the
Yes.
divine connection that we have with nature.
Yes.
and how sensitive even a flower is. Look at these encounters with animals. And we lately see more and more videos where we see the little chicken with the cat and the, I don't know, the donkey with the dog. And it's like, it's pretty much nature showing us, look, connection is real,
Yeah.
real when we make it happen. So
And not one. Yeah. Go ahead.
this
This
is
is
really
what.
beautiful. Yes. Oh, we have here Rosa saying, I needed this today.
Thank you. Thank you. One thing that I want to tell everybody, I started investigating about the dolphins, and I realized I didn't know the dolphins save people, but through history, dolphins have saving a lot of people underwater, people that is swimming with sharks and they don't know the dolphins come to defend them, you know. And another thing about the dolphin is you can Google, you guys, if I have your phone right there, I want you to Google what is the meaning of the dolphin for Christians. And guess what is the answer? The dolphin represents Jesus for Christianity. I didn't know that one, you know. But in
Yeah.
all my presentations, somebody came and told me, "You didn't know that Jesus is the dolphins." I'm like, what? And then I Googled it and
Yeah.
I found that it's like, yeah, in Italy, in the catacombs, there was dolphins. They said dolphins were like angels. They take the souls to heaven. I was like, whoa! And I started watching documentaries about dolphin and how they've been helping humanity. It's been really amazing, connecting with
Yeah.
nature, right?
Yeah. We have Christ as the light of the world.
Yeah,
The meaning of
the
one
dolphin.
of the meaning, yeah, of the dolphins. So that's absolutely, absolutely beautiful, Carlos.
Ingrid,
And
I want to hear your story. Come on.
okay, and you know what I love for our stories too, Carlos, is
Uh-huh.
that both of us
Yes.
experience near death experiences
Yes.
drowning
Yes.
in the water. And the symbol of the water, what
I
is the
think it's like a baptism, by water. It's like you're reborn again.
exactly rebirth and
Rebirth.
purification? And
Yeah.
when you take a shower, you're cleaning yourself. So
Yeah.
I didn't have that realization until later on. One day I'm like, that day what happened is that I was
Rebirth.
reborn. And a few years ago I had another experience in which I was in Costa Rica and I was catched by some waves and I was like being turned and tossed. That's the day I decided to surf, Carlos. I got caught by these waves. And
Oh, wow.
in the waves, when I was rescued out of the water, it was three waves that caught me, and
Throw
I
you
was
around.
like, and I was being hit in the ground and everything. And the
Uh-huh.
moment my husband and other people came and they pulled me out of the water, and when I'm standing like now outside at the edge of the water, I'm like, I had that realization. I was looking at the horizon and I had the realization that throughout the whole time I never felt fear.
Hmm.
Like I am drowning,
Feel
being caught in
protected.
these waves, and there was not fear whatsoever. And as the moment that I felt, I'm ready for whatever is to come, I'm ready to serve. That was that moment. That was like, of course, I was. It was about 10 years ago. I was already an adult, but yeah, my first experience of drowning, having my first near death experience, was when I was a little child, Carlos. And it
Hmm.
was, um many people already know my story, so I just tell it pretty quick. But it was being unattended because the lady that would take care of
Take
us
care of you.
didn't pay attention at all. My parents left for work. My oldest sister, and she's here with us today, she was with me, and we decided, let's go play in the patio, no one is watching. And in the patio there was this big tank, and it held
Hmm.
about 900 gallons of water, so it was a big tank.
Hmm.
And then she and I decided, let's play cash across the tank. I mean, like, yeah, right. And then we climbed the walls of the tank, and she threw the ball, didn't apply enough force, and I tried to grab the ball and I fell in the tank.
Wow.
And the first feeling, Carlos, which at the same was the thing that saved my life, was that the water was frigid,
Prison.
frigid cold.
Mm.
And I am from Colombia, but I am from the Andes. So the temperature in
Oh.
that water, yeah, up there in the mountains, it was about I would just say 30, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So this, when the first feeling, imagine when the water is frigid cold, that you feel that is the shock of the coldness. And then it was followed by the shock of why I cannot breathe. And I enter into the state of absolute horror. And which is incredible. Like when you tell your story too, is going from that horror.
Yeah.
And it's when the miracle happened to state of absolute peace. Peace and calmness. I didn't know what happened. I'm like, I don't know why I don't need to run, why I don't need to escape, why I don't need to breathe. I'm just feeling incredibly, amazingly well. And I'm like, wow, this feels good. And when I am in that state of feeling absolutely like incredible, I saw light. And this is an amazing thing, because the last thing I saw, and I always have that memory of the last thing I was seeing, was the darkness of the space. And then, it's amazing how from that darkness, suddenly there was light. And this light came from below. And it was enough. And, the other thing about this light, now that we're just kind of talking about the meaning of things, later in my life, through this asking and understanding and talking to the beings of light, they revealed to me that the light that I saw, Carlos, was the light of myself.
Wow.
We are the light, but I didn't know. I just thought I saw a light that was out of myself. And then after that, I started to see bubbles, and it was by chasing those bubbles that I turned around and I saw my body in the water.
Oh, wow.
And something that I haven't, something that I haven't shared with people, because I get more and deeper kind of clarities as time goes. And not long ago, I was talking with someone that says, when a body is empty, when someone dies, it's like the eyes are empty. And I said, yes, that's exactly what I saw in the body when I saw my body in the water, because the eyes were open. And I can never forget how the eyes were empty. And that is what gives me this clarity of, look, the spark of life is what fuels us.
Your eyes.
That, give the eyes that spark of, we are alive. So, and then is when, the feeling when I saw the body in the water was that sense, Carlos, of like, oh, that's normal. That, like, it was this sense of like, oh, that's happened already before. And I didn't even know what before meant or anything in what I'm comparing with, but it was the sense of like, this is a familiar thing.
Yeah.
And then I always mention that there was a lot of contrast in my experience, and that's why I cannot forget it. And one of the contrasts is that I was born as a very sick child. And sometimes we wonder why a child can get sick. Like when you got your diagnosed with cancer, that's the moment that you say, God, I'm here to serve. I was born as a very sick child. And for me, it was to have the enough contrast to know, this is something that later made me realize this is an opportunity. This is a moment I needed to meet, to see that this is how you feel when you are in that place of peace, and what later in my life brought me to want to be back there. And seeing my body sick and feeling that and comparing that, oh God, if I would have born like a very healthy and there was not a challenging situation at all, and maybe my drowning happened, I don't remember anything, because I go from feeling good to feeling good. But because I was born as a very sick child and now I am experiencing absolute well-being, it was like, wow, I don't want to go back to that body.
Nobody wants to come back.
And I made that absolute decision right there. Like, I don't want to go back. And I turned around. And then I was just being picked by flowers, feeling the state of bliss. And And I think that the part of the story that validates everything is what happened after, and that is incredible. Like, I went to the maid's room.
Mm-hmm.
I was floating in her room.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't even realize I was there. Then I appeared in my mom's path. And with the moment I mentioned, I said, "That's mom," my mom stopped, Carlos.
Mm-hmm. She knew that
She
something
knew.
was wrong.
She
Yeah,
knew.
that's the
She
sixth
knew.
sense of moms. It's like when you go to your house with some friends and your mom said like, I don't like this friend, I don't like this friend, I don't like this friend. But
Yes.
mom, I don't like it. I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you right now, there is something going on there. I don't know. Just listen to me. If
And
we
you
listen to
know,
our parent,
yeah, but you know about the intuition, I say to people, it's not just about having intuition, but listen to that intuition.
to your heart, you need to listen to your heart.
Then at that moment is when, my mom probably was like the dolphin.
Hmm.
My mom had the sense of running, and she turned around and she went home. And that is where she realized I was in the tank and got me out. But at this point, I was completely disconnected. I was experiencing all these incredible, what I call realm of the light. And then, yeah, so it was actually my mom who got me out of the water. But we have here some question. Let's see, can you speak more? I'm going to put it in the screen so we can see.
Can you speak more about respond to contrast with God's love? The world contrast is so intense sometimes. I don't know what you want to say about that.
Yeah, what I would just say is that without that possibility of experiencing contrast, you don't know where you are at in your level of evolution. You don't know where you are at in your level of awakening. I said to people, you don't even know how to appreciate if you don't
Hmm.
experience contrast. So to put it easy, imagine you can never appreciate or know health if you never have been sick. You
Hmm.
could never know or appreciate joy if you never have been sad. How could you even know what that means?
Hmm.
So imagine I experienced almost the first 3 years of my life feeling unwell and feeling sick. And suddenly I am in the state of complete well being. If it wasn't for that contrast, I would have never even known what the difference was. And there's another amazing contrast I experienced during my near there, and it was silence. When I enter in the state of peace,
Hmm.
I also enter into absolute and complete silence. But it was the silence, Carlos, that was so peaceful that later in my life, I will hide in chapels, I will go under the bed, I will go into, a closet, wherever.
Finding that silence again in your life.
Yes,
We
yes.
all
So
need it. We all need it with this convulsion world that we're living right now. We need to
exactly.
that silence. We need to connect with nature a lot.
And if it
Stop
wasn't,
watching news,
yeah.
guys. Just go to nature, please. Take a walk, drink water. You know what to do. You know.
Exactly. So if it wasn't for that experience of knowing that, I would
Hmm.
have never want to. I didn't. I would not have even known it. See, so it's thanks to contrast, thanks to even challenging moments, is that we get to know. Or you get to know your strength. You get to know your resilience. Get to know your capacity to respond, or your capacity to access your wisdom. Otherwise, how you can know is the only way. So I said the human experience is the I like call it opportunity of
Hmm.
experiencing that contrast in other levels of being in the spirit realm. We don't, there's not the level of contrast we experience as humans.
Hmm.
So the human experience is the one that if we really use with wisdom, is the one that can bring us to wake up, the one that can bring us to peel layers, to realize, the only way to know what you truly are is
Hmm.
by knowing what you are not, by peeling the layers.
Hmm.
We have let's see, we have a question here.
Okay.
It's a little long, so but I'm going to put
Yeah,
it
go
here.
ahead.
Can either of you please speak about your experiences during your near-death experience with other than humans? In other words, plants, animals, rocks, water, air, etc. All the many beings that we humans share this planet with.
Mhm. Or reading again, reading twice the question.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think about that one?
I think I'm going to turn it off here. I think that oh,
No, you're fine. You're ready to read the question.
I'm thinking that my feeling was what I experienced during my first near death experience was the sense of absolute connection.
Mm-hmm.
And later I came to understand it was that realization that we are interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for me, it was the sense when I entered into the realm of the light
Mm-hmm.
and I experienced first the realization that I was a being of light,
Mm-hmm.
and I started to dissolve with the whole. I even experienced after that, I was still having a sense of self, but even that vanished, Carlos. And I entered in the state of, I call, there's not even ways or words to describe it, but the only thing I could say is I call it nothingness. I call it, let's call it pure presence. But for us to understand what that pure presence and interconnection means, I put an analogy. Imagine a stadium. And I
Mm-hmm.
love when someone shared this analogy with me because I was like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. So imagine a huge stadium, and all you know about yourself is
Mm-hmm.
a little box in the middle of the
Mm-hmm.
stadium. And you think that you are that little box. And suddenly, thanks to an experience like this, or a spiritual experience, or whatever kind of experience, this box opens and you realize, is I call it nothingness because it's nothing I thought I was, but wholeness is the
Mm-hmm.
realization that you are all. And in this wholeness is when you realize I am connected with absolutely
Mm-hmm.
everything. And that incredibly brought me to choose a career later in my life as marine scientist, marine biologist. How can I connect all the projects I worked in my life were related to create consciousness about our environment, how to use our resources in a in a way that was manageable, in a way that we were not destroying, but we were working together. Remember, we are nature. And no long ago, Carlos, I was thinking about something. I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking about the creative and destructive forces of the universe. And I thought, God creates and God destroys.
Mm-hmm.
And the beings of light said something to me. They said, no, God doesn't have opposite.
Mm.
God is only flow of life. Life, life always. And you know what had happened? I was
What?
walking in the street for a few days and I have seen a bird. And it
Mm-hmm.
was a dead bird next to the road, a very
Oh
beautiful
wow.
bird. And I thought, oh, it was a blue jay. I thought, I wonder how that bird died. And then when I was meditating and I was receiving this message, God is only life.
Mm-hmm.
Contrast is what we experience as humans.
Mm-hmm.
God is a flow of life. So I received the message, go out there and touch the bird. And I went outside and I was like, okay, this bird has been dead for a couple of days, but okay, I touched the bird. And the moment I touched it, Carlos, I felt
The
energy.
connection.
I
Mm.
felt a flow of energy. And it's when I understood, and the words came, is not a dead bird, is a rebirth.
It's
Because
rebirth.
I felt how the bird was turning into something else, transforming.
Mm. The energy was
Energy
transforming.
was transforming. So that is
Wow.
the interconnection of the whole with the whole. It's like Even what we eat, even everything we do is like, where does it come from? We
Yeah.
are all connected at all levels of being. Yeah.
Yeah, and that question I just want to add that when I was in heaven with Jesus, he asked me, when I get there, I see in front of me millions of people dressed in white robes and everybody was glowing. And he asked me, "Do you have any question?" I said, "Yes, where all these people came from?" And he said they came from all over the world. And then I said, "I want to ask you another question, Jesus. What is true religion? There are 50,000 religions all over the world. I just want to know what is the true one." And he said, "The only thing that I can tell you is here in heaven, there is no religions. When you come to heaven, the only thing that you're going to find here is love. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. And that's where I'm going to unite the whole humanity in one. So love is the answer, guys."
Love is definitely the answer, Carlos. I love that you just said it. That's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, and I have a Solange is saying here, I love when the beings of light tell Ingrid, as she wrote in her book, that everyone is special,
Hmm.
whole, interconnected with all. Most people just don't know that yet.
Hmm.
Yes, 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 yes. And is that knowing that, and the more we learn to deepen in the truth that we realize we are that love, we are that spark of light, we are, wow, that piece of the puzzle that completes the whole. So it's like, never think that you are less, never think that you are more. We're all the
For me,
source.
we're particles of God. We all
Yes,
have a spark of God inside of us. And He
yes,
has experienced life through us for everything that we do. He is there for us.
yes, yes. And that's why it's amazing when we always hear we're made at the image and likeness of God.
You froze up your screen.
Oh gosh, my whole thing is frozen, and I stay with the face of like, yes. I see that my screen is frozen, Carlos.
Yeah, it's frozen. It's okay. Everything happened for a reason.
Yeah.
You was like, yeah, I feel love right there. Nice.
Then we stay in the love, and we're
Yes.
approaching the also the time for ending our recording today,
Yes.
and our live event today.
Yes.
And it's been incredible to be with everyone here. We might not be able to share more and or answer all the questions today, but we will do it next Wednesday. Carlos, what do
Yeah.
you
Next
say?
Wednesday at 7. We need to create this space for all of you too. You're gonna feel lost like us, like it was hard for our times when nobody used to talk about these stories. I mean, I have a bunch of stories and I'm writing 2 more books, um, like Ingrid did. Ingrid did her book, I did my book. I didn't want to write the book, but then God told me, like, you need to write a book. I was like, oh my God. But I mean, if I help one person, 2 person, 3, 4, at least one soul grab the message, I'm just putting a seed in your heart, and it's up to you to grab the seed and put some water and let it grow. So your awakening is growing from your heart or outside down, up to the world. Be the change you want to see in the world. That was Gandhi. And do you have any other thing to say, Ingrid?
I don't know, Carlos, and I don't know if we still going. Let me just go check quick, because I don't know.
Okay. I mean, you're
I don't
still
know.
there.
I'm still here, but I don't
Yes.
know. Sí, quita la cámara, deja voz. Ah, ya.
Okay.
No, yo creo que mi
Oh, she left. She's gonna come back right now. She's just checking her camera. But thank you so much. I just want to say a big thank you. So La Rosa, Teresa, Mindy, Adrienne, Safena, Winfield, Teresa Rosier. Thank you for your messages. This just came out of the blue. Me and Ingrid, we were talking, like, we need to unite the community, and there is people from all over the world. We have interviews. I have podcasts every week. She had podcasts every week too. And there is a lot of people that want to do podcasts with us. And I was like, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah. It's not the right moment right now, but never is going to be the right moment, And that's why we decide, like, let's do it. And that's it, because people need to know and people need to feel safe when you're gonna tell your stories. You know, you can come here. This is your home. This is your house, and we're gonna be here for you. Uh, Jack Adams, thank you, Jack Rosa Stankowski. Yeah, Mrs. Winfield, Salon Energy and Wellness. Yes. Yes, and you can check Ingrid's story. There is a movie, Dead and Back, that she have the first movie, and she's in a lot of interviews with Alex Ferrara. I'm with Alex Ferrara too. And if you type Ingrid's name, is Ingrid Honkala, is Honkala on YouTube. You're gonna find a lot of interviews, and she's talking about different areas in spirituality. And you can find me to Carlos Vivas NDE, and you can find a lot of stories about what happened to me, you know. And every time that I go to an interview, I just tell a little bit of stories since I was a child. A lot of stuff happened to me since I was a child, and I thought it was normal to people. And then people is like, no, that's not normal that all that happened to you. But it happened to everyone. I think all of you that you're watching this program right now have some kind of miracle in your life. Every day there are a bunch of miracles in front of you, but we need to be aware of what's going on. You have a beautiful health, you have your house, you have your family. So those are little miracles. You know, you are complete as a human, and you need to say thanks to the divine, to God, or whatever you want to call it, the universe. But I guess my friend, where is Ingrid? Let me see if she's coming back. But thank you everybody for be here. Thank you for give us the opportunity to enter to your house and let us share our stories with you. And yeah, we're about to close this. Well, thank you so much. I got another meeting right now. But thank you so much, everyone. God bless you. And I see you next Wednesday, okay? Well, thank you so much. Let's see if Ingrid come. Okay. And I see you next Wednesday. Take care. God bless you.